Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
News team, assemble!
It's back and bigger than ever. It's the Unofficial 40 from Soonerscoop.com. Now, here's the entire Sooner Scoop crew. Carrie, Josh, Eddie, and
George.
All right, welcome back. It is another edition of the Unofficial 40 podcast right here from Sooner Scoop Studios on Campus Corner in Norman, America, as preseason, fall camp, whatever you want to call it. I know I saw some people talking. It is weird to call it fall camp, but that's what everybody's always called it when it's 102 degrees outside. But we are underway. The Sooners had their first practice this morning. We will be out to watch practice tomorrow morning. We'll have full camera crews, photos for you, stories, breakdowns of what we see when we go out there. We had Brent Venables Media Day. Ben Arbuckle was there. We talked to, was it 7 or 8 players yesterday? I think 7, because we didn't. Deion Burks was supposed to be there, but was not available. I don't think there was anything nefarious. He just missed the media session. So anyway, a lot to break down for you. We've had some YouTube videos out there. And guys, Josh, welcome in. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch any of the press conferences or hear them or listen to them, but your first take kind of on what you heard yesterday, what stood out to you?
Yeah, I got to watch. I haven't really had a chance to watch a lot of the player stuff. I watched Arbuckle and Brent pretty much in full. And, the thing, and George kind of touched on it in the show yesterday. Brent felt like just borderline edgy. To me, like I don't like not hostile or anything. Just and I don't know if that's just preseason. Like I'm not good at like, oh yeah, he was like that last year. Like I'm never that guy that can track that very well. But it just I don't know. Like I don't know, and I don't know if that is a product of the season's here, or if it's obviously there's some pressure. There's a lot of hype going into this year. Like it's. Guys, I don't know if there's many teams that have the range of outcomes that seem possible for Oklahoma to meet. So, I kind of wonder how much that weighs into just where everybody's headspace is.
Yeah, I mean, he was very direct, not chatty. He didn't make an opening statement. He just opened for questions. And you know how it goes, all press conferences. There's some good questions, there's some bad ones. But, what I took out of it mostly was, just that he feels good about a lot of things. There's a lot of cornerbacks that they're looking at. Obviously the Eli Bowen thing that we first wrote about is interesting. Still not being ready to go, even though he sat out most of spring. And I don't know, George, if you kind of want to start off there with the Bowen stuff, but he ran through a lot of cornerbacks yesterday and seemed to feel, well, it's like all coaches, that he feels good about a lot of those guys, but we all know once you're putting the fire out there and a guy gets behind you and you're playing LSU, all of a sudden those guys just bench them, all of a sudden.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting from OU's perspective of they just don't have a ton of experience there. I think you'd love for Gentry Williams to be healthy and Eli Bowen's battling. I don't know if it's an ankle or a foot. I know it was ankle back in the spring, but there's been some talk that maybe it's a foot that's the issue now. So I don't know what's going on there. He's going to miss the beginning of fall camp. We'll see how long he's out. Kendall Dolby, it sounds like he's going to play some corner. I think he's going to miss the first part of fall camp as well. So that's a lot of young guys that are going to have to be kind of thrown into fire during camp. And I think you really like Jacoby Johnson. But after that, you don't have really a bunch of guys that have played a ton of football. And I think that I thought it was interesting. I think the quote Brent had was he was talking about Davon Jordan, which they call him Day. And he said that he's one of the best athletes they've got on the roster. So I know they really like him. I know they really like Jeremiah Newcomb, Cortland Gilroy, Malik Hawkins, Tristan Haynes, but none of those guys have played a ton of college football yet.
Yeah, we just don't know a whole lot about him. Or the coaches don't know a whole lot about him when they're thrown into the fire. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that's something that we've kind of tried to bring up, just the cornerback situation. And, it was also kind of like, Gentry Williams, love to have him, hope he's healthy. I mean, that was kind of the feel I got with him. And we'll see if he's limited at all. I mean, there's been some talk about him, having some issues that he battled through in the offseason, but I don't know how much of that was real or how much of it was serious. I know, Josh, you had checked in on some of that and kind of got a mixed. I want to say it was kind of like not really a solid answer, but kind of one of those, yeah, he'll be fine kind of things. Like maybe something happened, but it was like not a big deal.
Yeah, that was the impression, is that it was like they were going to move forward. Like I didn't get the impression like there was a huge amount of concern, but anytime you're going into this, like I don't know, like it felt like that wasn't as passed off as I thought it would be. Like I thought it would kind of be like, miss a day or two, but it's going to be fine. Like he's going to miss some time here, and you're like, oh, okay. So I don't know how to feel about that. I that is one of the few things I came off feeling worse than I thought I would, I guess I'd say.
Not all meals are created equal. For instance, breakfast has the spicy egg McMuffin for a limited time, and lunch doesn't. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
And then, obviously a lot of talk about the offensive line. I know you guys joked yesterday about who are these people that are questioning whether John Mateer and Jaydn Ott can succeed in the SEC. Most people, I think, what was it, Pete Nakos that released a list today with John Mateer as the number one. What was it? Transfer?
Biggest pressure.
Most pressure. The most pressure was on him. Was it just quarterback list? I kind of just glossed over that. But I don't know if that's. Here's the thing, and I didn't ask Brent this yesterday, but to me, guys, it seems like John Mateer is the kind of guy that his personality, like the pressure, not that it doesn't affect him, but that he can handle it. And I don't know, George, you've spent so much time with him at the Manning Academy, but it's almost like he's just not immune to it, but it doesn't really, it's not part of his personality to be worried about things.
He's certainly confident. I know that, and I think a large part of that is because of his relationship with Ben Arbuckle and already feeling comfortable in the system. So I agree. I just think that also we just don't know until we see him play. And I understood where Brent was coming from when he said that, why couldn't he, or why couldn't Jaydn Ott, perform well in this league? We've seen it before, but I think that there's still rightfully so some skepticism, just because we haven't seen it yet. And I think, shit hit the fan so bad last year that you just don't know what to expect, and you want to have hope. And I think that there is a lot of hope right now with this team, and I understand why. I just also understand the cautiousness that a lot of people are taking.
There's a reason, though, that, I think the one thing that, I would be terrified if they were coming in without experience. They at least have played.
Yeah.
And I think that, that at the end of the day with Jackson a year ago, I think the talent's there. I just think that, he was a deer in the headlights at times.
Yeah, and we were betting on, that he, threw 2 touchdowns in the Alamo Bowl and had some good moments. It was like, oh, okay. And that he was a 5-star and all that. And there was reason to believe in Jackson, but there's certainly been a lot more positive stuff we've heard about the offense, going back to the spring and even this summer, that wasn't there last year. And I think we kind of chose to ignore that. I feel like there's better hope there now. And I think it really going back to the offensive line, that's where it starts for me. Like
that might be like 1A, 1B, 1C. I mean, I just did a podcast with some guys out of Austin, and they were like, how many out of the, what was it, 1,300 plays that they had last year or something like that? I would bet that 45% of them were over after the first 2 seconds of the play, just because the offensive line was a turnstile at times.
Yeah,
and they just have so many guys. The thing that I keep coming back to, and Eddie, I think I listened to the pod last week when I was gone, and I think you kind of read off the snap counts for the offensive line. That's the thing I keep coming back to is like they've got so many more guys that have played, in this league and played on this offensive line for this offensive line coach. I know it's a different system, all that, but the experience is just so much different. Even like it didn't register with me until yesterday. Troy Everett was talking about, he was kind of the leader of that group last year, but he was sidelined. I mean, he didn't get to go through spring. He didn't get to go through summer workouts. He didn't have a fall camp, and he was just thrown into the fire. I think it was the Texas game was his first game back. And it's like, okay, now you have something in Troy Everett at center, which is kind of where things, began to fall apart last year. There's just more pieces, it feels like, to choose from. And they haven't had that.
I don't think that there's an Outland winner. I don't think there's a Remington winner. I don't think it's a Joe Moore Award, semifinalist even.
But they don't need to be either.
You don't think that they do. I think that they can be much better just as a as a unit as a whole. And I think that the offense will be much better, and especially if you get into all the other reasons that this thing was a disaster a year ago.
Well, and we kind of talked about it last night. I mean, like, OU's been to the college football playoff in the past with, on paper, a worse offensive line than what you have starting out this year at Oklahoma. Now, health is a big part of that, but, we were talking about that 2015 team when they had Derek Fardiak and Josiah St. John as their starting tackles. Like, they had to fix it. I mean, they had to put Orlando Brown in there as a starter eventually. But they had Drew Samia that was a true freshman. But they ended up, being a pretty competent offensive line, and Baker Mayfield, of course. That 2015 year, that was the Tennessee game. That was, Akron that they start off with that year, and they just looked kind of so-so.
2015 actually opened with That's right.
Akron.
That's right.
But it took a while for that offense to get going. It took a while for that offensive line to get going, but they became, a college football playoff team. Like, on paper, guys, I just, whether it's, Michael Fasusi playing or not, I mean, Derek Simmons and Logan Howland and Heath Ozida and those guys, I mean, like, to me, that's a, Wee-Woo and Everett or Michaela. I mean, those are bodies where you're just like, okay, this should be a competent offensive line. I mean, and I know I can feel George yeah, you'd think so, but remember last year.
Yeah, but I do think, but you look back last year and there were so many signs of it was such a patchwork. I mean, the
Heath Ozida thing is crazy to me that we were talking about yesterday.
Heath Ozida played the second most snaps of any offensive lineman for Oklahoma last year. Logan Howland, I think, was number 4. Like, it's insane.
Jacob Sexton was hurt all year long.
Well, Jacob Sexton was up there.
He was so good coming out of that bowl game against Florida State, and you thought, okay, he's going to fit right in as a starter next year.
And when he played quite a bit, and he started multiple spots for him, but you look back and it's like, Spencer Brown was like the crown jewel of that portal class originally, and he ended up barely playing.
It was a terrible portal class.
Michael Tarquin was their best portal guy, and he was just okay. Branson Hickman got hurt like the first practice of fall camp last year. Didn't even play most of the season. So,
and then the guy from Washington was
Garen Hatchett played with a torn bicep.
Yeah.
They didn't even have a center. It was ridiculous. So they need to stay healthy.
Everett messed up his knee in spring camp.
Yeah. They were screwed from the start. But Josh, I did want to ask you, because I saw you talking about it in one of the threads on the board. What'd you make of Jacob Sexton? Kind of indicated to me yesterday that he wants to play tackle, not guard.
I heard Gabe talking about it, and I know Gabe, said I think he's most natural at guard, or he's best at guard. I can't remember exactly how he worded it. For me, I think Jake's always been a tackle. Like, I just think that's where he fits best. I think, and I wonder, because I remember talking to Jacob about that, in high school, and I remember him saying, and I think he's one of those guys that I don't know if everybody realizes how big and tall he is until you're kind of close to him and you're like, God, dog, that's a big human being. And I worry a little bit about, like, you talk about him playing at OU, like, just as a good example for people to kind of know what I'm meaning. Talk about him trying to get underneath a guy like Dominic Williams. That's a monster ass for Jacob Sexton. Like, the leverage is just not there. And so I wonder a little bit about that. Like, Heath Ozida is a pretty tall guard.
Very tall,
and he's not as tall and long as Jake is. So, like, now I say long. Jake's not real long-armed, so, like, I kind of get that side of it of, like, okay, maybe he's a little better in a phone booth, that kind of thing. But I know he said it, and I thought that was really interesting, George, is him talking about, like, I feel comfortable at tackle. That's always been my impression, is that's where he feels most at home. I think that's where he's best. And guys, and I've said it a few times on the board, like, I don't know that I've given him enough credit, kind of in the spring, like, where he would fit into this conversation. But I keep seeing people talk about him like, oh, we know what Jacob Sexton is. How do you know that? Guys, he hasn't played that much more than Logan Howland. Like, as far as, like, from a day in, day out, he's your starter, you know who's playing. That, like, he's never had that consistency because he's bounced around a ton. He's never, like, he's went from guard, like you said it, George. I think he started at 3 different positions last year. Like, and I get that it was a mash unit. They were just doing what they could do. I mean, that's not like you screwed this up. They were playing the hand they were dealt. But, like, he's never had a chance to just be the left guard like Heath Ozida was last year, or just be the left tackle like Logan Allen was. And so I think there is a valid question of, like, what is he? What is he going to be? I don't think his upside is anywhere near Michael Fasusi's. But at the same time, I think he's a better player than people think he is.
We are going to have, I think we have 3 scheduled viewings right now so far in camp. One will come tomorrow. And, we go out there, hopefully we get 45 minutes. I mean, they usually tell you 20, 30, and Brent is usually really good about letting us stay until they go into team periods. But one of the things, like, when you're out and about during the summer, it's really hot. You need really good, comfortable clothing. And one of our new sponsors, Poncho, is outfitting us. I know Josh has his order in. I have mine in. Eddie's he's got to put his in. But these are, if you haven't ever seen Poncho before, lightweight fabric. It stays dry. If you want to use them for fish. I mean, Josh, you wear a lot of these types of shirts. I sometimes call them the safari shirts. But they've got all kinds of different styles. The original Western, denim, and ultralight. You can get them in short or long sleeves. And the cool thing about them is, like, if you're outside, they have built-in UPF 50+ sun protection that's built into the fabric. They've got a ton of thoughtful ideas that they build into their shirts. They have a sunglasses loop by the chest pocket. They've got a hidden zipper pocket that's big enough for your phone or stashing some cash. And they've even got a microfiber lens cloth sewn right into the hem so you can keep your shades clean. What we want you to do is go to ponchooutdoors.com/Soonerscoop, and you get $10 off your first order. That's PONCHO outdoors.com/Soonerscoop for $10 off and free shipping. We want you to go try them out. And we know about the company. I'm excited to get mine in. I've got a couple of short sleeves and a flannel coming. A nice hat. So if you've been looking for the perfect shirt, something breathable that fits great, feels even better, stands out in a good way, give Poncho a try. And the other thing that Eddie and I have been partaking, I know Harry was in the office, Harry Limbo. He wanted to try some yesterday, but the Lucy is taking over the office.
The Lucy is kind of my go-to now. I've been on some other ones, and I know that there's a lot out there, but I've kind of centered in on the 12 milligram wintergreen.
You okay with the 12 milligram?
I like the 12 milligram. Sometimes I double up. Mint, mango, berry citrus, apple cider, apple ice. I know that you had the espresso the other day.
Yeah, it's really good.
They're all really good, and they're really easy to kind of take in. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. All you got to do is go to lucy.co, lucy.co/Soonerscoop, and use the promo code Soonerscoop to get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. We must also tell you Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
It's better than the tobacco. I've been off the tobacco since New York City. So I'm just on Lucy, and it's been a couple of weeks and doing great. I mean, it's fantastic. And I'm doing the 12 milligrams. I think there's like 13 in a regular pouch, a name brand pouch. So it's been great. Been really enjoying it. All right. We did kind of a camp preview, but anything change your mind yesterday about? We obviously talked to Jaydn Ott. Eddie, you pointed out last night a team photo. It looked like they were at the ranch, maybe having dinner, and just his size compared to everybody else kind of shocked you.
It was the running back room. By the way, we need to figure out who the John Mateer lookalike is. The assistant
he looks
coach.
just like him.
I thought that was John.
Yeah,
I thought that was Mateer.
I was like, he looks too short.
Ryan Chapman, who I do radio with in the boarding, he was like, I don't think that was Mateer. I was like, yeah, it was. He's like, I don't think he's that much shorter than DeMarco.
No, and his
I went
legs
back
weren't
and
big
looked,
enough.
and he showed me in the team picture the guy. There is a analyst or student assistant or whomever that looks
He
exactly
does look like I'm
like
looking
John
at it right
Mateer.
now.
He's a little bit shorter, obviously, because I think that DeMarco is 6'1", and Mateer's listed at 6'1" as well. Neither here nor there, though. Just thought that was crazy. But yeah, like in the photo, and we talked to Jaydn Ott yesterday, and it was the first time that we had really talked to him. Josh, I don't know if you went back and looked at the full interview with Jaydn Ott yesterday, but I kind of like heard it and looked around, but he said that he picked OU over Georgia. And I think that that's certainly notable, on top of the fact that he came to Oklahoma because he wants to play with John Mateer and play in Ben Arbuckle's system. And, he obviously was a little bit familiar with Arbuckle, having played against him. Had a really good game. I know that Arbuckle has mentioned it a couple times. He had like 176 yards and a touchdown, 27 carries against Washington State in 2023. Also had I think 18 yards through the air reception-wise. Had another touchdown, a receiving touchdown. Very excited about the prospects of what Jaydn Ott brings, and I love that he hangs out with Marshawn Lynch. I can only imagine those stories coming out of there.
Ott's also just so much bigger than I anticipated.
Huge.
My God, in that picture, like, he's
Devontae
like,
and
I don't know if he was doing push-ups before that. My God,
he's
huge.
listed at 5'11", 208.
He's taller than Javonte Barnes.
I would have guessed he was like 6'1", 215 or something. But he had some cannons
we saw
on his
him in
arms.
person yesterday, and he looked like a smallish type guy. Like in this picture, it doesn't look like the same person.
Guys, you look at the picture, he looks every bit as big as Xavier Robinson, who we know is a big dude. And
Xavier Robinson's listed at 239.
And look at their calves in that
and
picture.
What's Ott's weight?
That's crazy.
208.
No way. No way.
Xavier Robinson, 239?
And he doesn't look it. His legs are still pretty skinny. Big. What's Andy Bass's weight listed at? He's probably like 198?
205.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks the same height as Jaydn Ott, 5'11".
No.
No way.
That's what it's listed as.
He doesn't look small.
No, that's not a shot at Andy Bass. Jaydn Ott just looks like a mutant in this.
That's crazy.
Like that, guys, you have that all the time. Like, who's the NFL guy in this picture? It doesn't take a lot of time to pick out who you're betting on in that picture. Like, I think I could show it to my daughters and they'd be like, I bet it's that guy, Daddy. So he's just a big old guy.
He better get 90% of the carries this year. That's all I'll say.
What is the acceptable number?
Like percentage?
75%,
Oh, God. They're going to trigger me.
It's got to be.
It's definitely north of 75.
75%.
Yeah.
I mentioned to George earlier, Josh, I think it was yesterday, and kind of talking and listening back to some of the stuff that Ott said. He talks a lot about how they're going to use him. Not a lot, but he kind of just basically was like, Coach Arbuckle is going to move me around, pass catching ability out of the backfield, moving him out into the slot. I wonder, like with OU's tight end situation, are they going to go a whole lot of two-back sets and get two of those guys out there and not just center everything around Ott?
Well, yeah, and like with Xavier Robinson at 239, like he could play like a fullback-ish type.
Total message board, stealing it from the message board too. But like in a picture-perfect world, maybe they slide in somebody like a Cade McIntyre or Jaren Kanak as that H-back look. And I don't know. I'm starting to come around to this idea.
Xavier Robinson's bigger than Jaren Kanak. Jaren Kanak's 6'2", 233. And
throw Xavier out there, and he really will look like Dimitri Flowers out there.
Xavier Robinson's 6 foot 239.
Well, guys, and this reminds me, Eddie, Carey, this will be a way back blast for you. Do you guys remember we got in the conversation about like 6 offensive linemen against Ohio State? Like we were having like, they could throw out 6. You could run out another guy, Cody Ford, put him on, like we were going through that whole thing. This feels like that, but like, I'm kind of like, I would almost be interested if you could get Kanak, Robinson, it doesn't even have to be like Robinson, Tatum, whoever you want it to be, and Ott out there, because you could do a lot of stuff formationally. Like you could get Kanak and Ott in the slot. You can, and just have Robinson as a one back. You could do a split back. You could do a diamond formation like we saw Riley do several times. Like you could get, and I know you guys were kind of leading to that, and I'm acting like I really walked into something, but like it is. That you can get pretty creative without having to change your personnel at all.
I love when we get in these deep pod discussions about inventing new formations.
I thought
I'm all about it.
And not to say that they're going to just reinvent the wheel and they're going to come out with something that's just brand new that's never been seen before. But I do think that like what Arbuckle talked about yesterday, and I think the question was from might have been Mason or Colton or somebody that basically was like, what did you want to see from Mateer? And they've worked together so well over the last 2 years together that it almost seemed like Arbuckle was talking about, like, we're at that advanced stage, that advanced class of this is what we're looking at. We can maybe do a little bit more than somebody that's, kind of truly green and getting a feel for what Arbuckle wants to do offensively.
I was trying to figure out, I think I remember this. Didn't Bob Stoops line up in the wishbone when his first year at OU, like this a little nod to Barry Switzer?
Gatorade is the #1 proven electrolyte blend designed to hydrate better than water. So you can lose more sweat and raise your game. Gatorade, is it in you?
Yeah, I remember something like that, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
Would that have been like Indiana State?
That was the first game, yeah, in 99.
I actually just looked it up. AI says, while Bob Stoops is known for bringing the air raid offense to Oklahoma, he did initially line up in the wishbone formation on the first play of the game, head coach in 1999. Just saying, worked out pretty well, Ben Arbuckle. If you want to throw that Kanak,
be pretty cool,
Xavier Robinson, Jaydn Ott formation out there, and then throw out of it. Although we did say get rid of the trick plays after last year with all the
just
Bauer
no more
Sharp stuff.
Tight end screen.
Yeah,
reverses
bad
or
idea.
whatever.
Let's scrap that. I don't want scrap that. I don't like that idea anymore. We're just running the air raid or whatever you're going to run, Ben Arbuckle. No trickery.
Well, if the offense is good, you can do whatever you want.
But let's get the offense good first. Let's get Mateer to throw a pass on first down, the first play, and get it going.
That's a great question. At what point in the year is he allowed to call a tight end throw? Like, how far down the road do we have to be of accepting, okay, the offense is actually okay?
That might be in the territory of alternate uniforms after 2009. Like, no one wanted alternate uniforms after that Texas Tech game in 2009 when they got their asses kicked. And every time it came up, people would lose their shit. And then when they first came out with the Rough Riders, everybody was, this is stupid. But then they saw them. That was a West Virginia game, wasn't it? The first time they wore the Rough Riders?
Maybe.
In Morgantown.
Sounds right. It seems like they always wore them against West Virginia.
Was it the Tavon Austin game?
No,
that was the. I think that was the Alex Ross 100-yard punt return game.
Kick return.
I think you might be right
because that would have been 2010.
And Samaje P. Ryan just hammered.
Trevor Knight was the quarterback. It was before everything went to shit that year. No, it was 2013 or 2014.
Well, 14 is when it went to shit.
I think it was 2014 then.
Because they would have been coming off the Alabama win, and 2013 season was a really good season.
Yeah, I think it was.
It pissed off Shane Gillis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they won the game. Notre Dame did.
No, 2013 at Notre Dame.
That was 2011, I thought.
No, 2011 was in Norman. 2013.
Oh,
was
that's
in
right.
Notre
That's
Dame.
right. That's right.
So anyway, no, I think the one thing that I think all of us are going to be looking at is just going out there and seeing Jaydn Ott. I mean, just what he looks like. I mean, it sounds like he's out of camp healthy. I mean, there were so many people around him yesterday. I didn't really get a lot of time to listen. I did watch, the Sooner Scoop editorial video yesterday, but he seemed to indicate he was 100% right.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He sounded like
George. I didn't.
Good.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Did you hear anything all summer? Like I thought from what I gathered, he's been good all summer. Like it hasn't really been a concern.
I think he was even good in the spring. Like he went through some spring practice with Cal and was fine. So I think he's A-okay. Now, I do wonder, like, if he goes out there and just tears it up this first week, if OU says, okay,
pull it back,
we've seen enough. You can stand on the sideline till week 1.
Well, I mean, and the interesting thing was just the connection to Mateer that he felt. I mean, like you said, could have gone to Georgia, but he wanted to follow John Mateer to Oklahoma, and he has a lot of faith in Ben Arbuckle. I mean, obviously he saw enough from the matchup that they had against Washington State to be like, this guy's a dog, and this offense is something I'd love to play in. Yeah, and I think that both those guys did a lot of recruiting. And it sounds like they even got on like a Zoom call and watched film together. And I think Ben and John were basically like, we're going to do this, this, and this with you in this offense. Come play with us. But outside of that, I mean, obviously, I talked to Kobe McKenzie a little bit yesterday about the linebackers. I really, got the feeling like they're going into this camp like it's a wide open competition. Like I may not be the starter. It may be Sammy Omosigo. It may be Kendall
I thought it was
Daniels.
interesting that Omosigo was nominated or was on the watch list for the Butkus and Kobe wasn't.
No,
it was Sammy and Kip were on the Butkus and Kobe was not.
Well, Kobe was like, I mean, when I was talking to him, and I've gotten to know him. He's done some stuff for like Schwab over here before, and some other stuff we've been involved in, but he was pretty open. He was like, look, my first couple of years should have been a lot better, and I want to prove to everybody that I am the guy that they thought I was coming out of high school. So he's taken it the right way. I mean, he's challenged himself. He's like, he wants to prove everybody that he can be an elite defensive player, and so far, really, Kip Lewis is the guy with all the accolades because of the pick sixes last year. I mean, nobody else is really proven to be on that level yet.
Robert Spears Jennings would be the number one returning tackler from a year ago with 66 tackles. Skip Lewis is second with 63. Who was third?
Sammy
Omosigo. Wow. He had 40 tackles last year. He had 10 more tackles than Kobe.
That's
I don't know what the snap breakdown would be on that. Kobe did have 1.5 sacks.
But that was mostly as a cheetah, though, wasn't it?
Omosigo?
Yeah, he played cheetah primarily last year.
So, I mean, hell, you put him at linebacker. Who knows?
I mean, I know during spring there was a lot of talk about Omosigo pushing for the starting job at Mike because he had been playing Will early in his career. Then they had to move him to cheetah because they were so thin there, and then he moved to Mike in the spring and I guess just flourished. Kobe McKenzie played 337 snaps a year ago. Sammy Omosigo played 301.
Damn.
Wow.
It's just about even almost.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's a true battle. I mean, and Brent talked about that yesterday. Like, I want my guys to be, I want them to want to be the first player out on the field. So he's challenging guys for positions. Did either of you guys talk much to Grayson Halton yesterday? Because I know Dominic Williams came out with the quote about, he does believe that they're the best defensive line.
And to be fair, like it wasn't like he just off script said that. Like he wasn't
everybody was asking.
Yeah, somebody asked him directly, like, "Do you believe you have the best defensive line in the SEC?" And it's like, well, what's he supposed to say? Obviously they believe that, but I do think Grayson gave a good quote. I don't know if you were over there, Eddie, but basically, like, we can't listen to any of that stuff. Like, we have to go out and prove it. We know that we can be better than we were a year ago. Like, all of those things.
Yeah. If they were, though, Josh, if OU does have the best defensive line in the country, and I think it's kind of a strength in numbers type deal. I don't know if they necessarily have anybody that's going to be a national award winner from that group or a first-round draft pick by any means. Maybe R. Mason if he has a really good year. But how much better can this just defense be even in the same idea that they are losing Danny Stutzman, they are losing Billy Bowman, and just from a leadership standpoint, it almost feels like with a really good defensive line, maybe this linebacker group takes another step that we don't even think is maybe possible right now.
Guys, that's the thing to me. Like, the talent is better than it's been at any point since Brent's been there. Like, and I know even losing Danny, even losing Billy, and I love both those guys. They're incredible players. And you can't replace them. But like, when you talk about physical ability and what it should look like, you guys touched on it a second ago, but I don't think anybody realizes how good Sammy Omosigho can be if it all comes together. Like, there's just tools there that are pretty special. But like, who's going to be the leader? Who's going to step up, like, when things are tough in Tuscaloosa? Like, you're down 14 in the third quarter. Like, who's going to be that guy that's like, this isn't good enough. Like, we've got to find a way. And we know who that's been the last 3 years. Like, those two were unquestioned the guys. But now, I don't know. And I think that's not everything. I'd rather have the talent than the, I guess I'd say the leadership, although I hate the way that sounds. But you need leaders. And on offense, I think it's pretty clearly become John Mateer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that guy is on defense. Like, I don't know who that guy is that everybody looks to.
By the way, want to mention our longtime sponsors of the podcast as well. Cody Drug RX, go to CodyDrugRx.com. If you are looking for more energy, better focus, or you just want to stay ahead of the game, you can also check out the NAD Plus injections from Cody Drug. They invested a ton in the state-of-the-art sterile lab, and they custom compound everything in there, including specialized medications for men's health, weight loss, anti-aging, and more. They also love working with Oklahoma Med Spas. If you're a Oklahoma Med Spa or clinic, get in touch with Will over at Cody Drug RX, and they're ready to team up. So if you're in healthcare, give him a shout. He can do really good things for you guys and your business. That's CodyDrugRx.com. You can feel better faster without the stadium steps. And also, check out his Instagram page at CodyDrugRx. A lot of great information on there. If you're looking for better sleep at night, I know he's got some recommendations for you and some things to stay away from. But he's just helping you try to live a better life and have a better lifestyle. And go check him out. He will definitely help you out. And don't forget, this month, all proceeds are going to help the flood victims there in Kerr County. So he's been doing a great job helping with that situation. And thanks to Will and the guys over at Cody Drug RX for supporting the podcast. And we hope you guys will go support them.
Who could have seen a championship season coming? I did. I predicted that they were going to win 82 games. Just like 14 off. No big deal. When the Thunder rolls, LASIK strikes. Oklahoma City brought home the title. Now it's your turn to score big with LASIK and Enjoy Vision for 2025 per eye. Schedule your free consultation today. All you got to do is go to enjoyvision.com. That is the letter NJOY vision.com. And set up a free consultation, get LASIK, maybe get a couple pain pills out of it, and have yourself a Saturday. This is where you LASIK.
How often do you stop by and ask for a pain pill?
I haven't in a while. I haven't really thought about it. I didn't think that would reflect well on the company, but if I'm being encouraged to do so, maybe I should go up to Lake Hefner here after we get done today.
All right. So, Josh, we didn't do a recruiting report this week. It's pretty slow time out there. Obviously, we've kind of passed around it. And I think Jim Nagy alluded to this at his night with Nagy in Oklahoma City, basically saying, like, this season goes like we expect it to go and win, a lot of games, then he thinks that they'll be going back around and maybe knocking on some doors again. And so, regardless of what you think of this class right now, if things go well this season, and let's say you start out 5-0 going into Texas, they're going to be ready to capitalize on some momentum.
Yeah, and I want to say, Eddie, remind me if I'm wrong, but I thought we talked about that in the recruiting report. Is that last week?
Yeah,
that there was this feeling like of OU's not going to panic. They're not going to go crazy and make a bunch of new offers. They think with a strong start to the year, they can double back around. And there's two things to take from that. I think the first is where I heard that, like there's always been like these, and I think it's fans that almost want to create some sort of soap opera narrative of like, oh, the front office staff and the coaching staff, they're not with it. They're very much in lockstep. Like, I think both sides of that fence feel the same. Like, let's not panic. Like, there's guys out there that they think they can get back in on when they kind of get things on track on the field. And so I think that is absolutely the methodology. The second thing I take is that it tells you they've been staying in contact with a lot of guys. Like, people are like, why aren't new offers going out? Because they're still recruiting a bunch of guys that maybe OU fans have forgotten about since they committed to other places. That's not what's happening here. And that's something I first started hearing some of that like back in like May, June. Like, you were like, we're not gonna go crazy. We still think we've got a chance with this guy, that kind of thing. And that seems to be what they believe in. Now, I still don't think I had somebody ask me on the board, like, can this become like a top 10 class? No, I don't think that's in the cards. I don't think that's what you're going to see happen here. But I do think they can address several positions, particularly wide receiver and defensive line, and probably a little bit of offensive line, where numbers aren't where they need to be. Forget like what it's ranked, but they need to sign more quality bodies. And there are several guys at each of those positions that I could see kind of take an interest in OU once they know, okay, those guys are fine. They're going to be there. They're not going anywhere.
How has it been with the kind of the 2020, the future classes? Like, is there still momentum there, or is that, do you feel like that's hurting them a little bit too?
It's probably hurting them a little bit, but one of my favorite answers I've gotten, and we've had several 2027s. I've actually got some more updates I need to write over the weekend, talking to some of the in-state offers and some of the guys that got offered at camp and stuff. One of the best answers I've gotten was from Peyton Houston, and I talked to him, and this was back before Bo Bentley committed. And I was talking about, Bo Bentley has to be a guy that has decided. Like, he's got to make a decision before he knows what Oklahoma's done. Like, has Oklahoma figured it out? Have they not figured it out? Whatever. He's going to have to make the call and kind of hope that he's right if it's OU. Peyton was like, yeah, I really like where I'm at because I get to sit back, kind of watch OU. I really believe in Coach Arbuckle. I think they're, and Coach Coos, like those whole guys, they're going to get it together. I believe that, but I get to see it. I get to watch it play out. And I think that's where a lot of these 27 guys are. Is they like what they're hearing. They believe in Oklahoma. Guys, all the Cooper Hackett stuff. Cooper Hackett wants OU to be successful. I think Cooper Hackett wants to go to OU in spite of all the Texas Tech stuff. Like, I think he wants to go to Oklahoma. Now, for him, there's going to be some NIL stuff where OU's going to have to show up and, kind of, put their nuts on the table, so to speak. But I do think that there are 2027 guys that Oklahoma's in a good spot for if they can prove that last year was an aberration. And I think these guys like that they have that opportunity. They don't have to make a decision right now. They can kind of wait. So I think a lot of there's still a very real chance 2027 is a very good class for Oklahoma. I think it will be huge. Not and I know we've talked a lot about 5-0, 6-1, whatever it may be, a great start to the year in some way or another. I think that will be huge because then Oklahoma can start bringing those guys in for the LSU game. They can start setting up those visits, and really get those guys on campus maybe once, maybe twice this season, and then you really start rolling toward the spring.
Is the Michigan game really the put all your chips on the table situation? Like, make that a big recruiting weekend. You come out with a win there, and that's where the momentum starts building. I mean, that's the second game of the season. I mean, that's a really, that could, in a way, you don't like having a tough game that early, but in the situation you're in, you need an early boost. Like, and that could be the game that could provide it for you.
As we sit here, Kerry, I think I've got about a dozen guys already confirmed for Michigan, which is over a month away, and that's pretty damn unusual. Now, it helps being an early season game, so you've got some guys that either their season hasn't started yet or, they are, got one of those early off weeks or something like that. So guys don't have to worry about their Saturday film with their high school teams, so they can make it. And so it helps OU in a lot of ways. But, I just talking about Peyton Houston. I've been told in the last 24 hours he's going to be there. Eli Johnson, the big safety from Cibolo Steel, he'll be there. One of the really interesting ones is the Luke Starcevich kid from North Dakota that our guy Greg Smith talked to this week, and he confirmed he'll be on campus for that. Like, they are getting guys from all over the place. Jackson Roper, kid from Colorado that picked up an offer at camp, he's going to be there. So there's going to be a lot of guys. And plus, on top of that, you've got a lot of the 26 class. Like Brian Harris is going to be there. Jake Krull is expected to be there.
Ooh.
So, there is a lot of opportunity for Oklahoma to strike. And if they can – guys, I don't even know that it matters that much what you look like. Just go beat Michigan. Beat them somehow, some way, and I think it springboards you into everything else you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're 35 days away from that game. In 35 days – will be the biggest game of Brent Venables' coaching career. Up to that point. And look, here's the thing, too. It's with Peyton Houston, I think people are like, well, if Brent doesn't succeed, could Arbuckle take over if the offense is really good? If the offense is really good, they're going to have a good season. The defense is not going to be shit. They're going to... look, there's every possibility they could lose a bunch of games by a point or something, but I don't see that happen. If Ben Arbuckle is good, it's not going to allow him to be the next head coach. It's going to mean that everybody stays, to me. I don't think there's an and or situation there.
You want to hear a...
oh, no. Here we go.
This is a
here we go.
This is a conspiracy theory that somebody sent along today. I'll just say a friend of the program. I'll tell you who it was after we get done. But it made me kind of stop in my tracks. It was holy shit, what if that happened? He said that he thinks that John Mateer is going to be good enough to keep Brent Venables' job, but it will be the worst thing for the program because Brent will stay on. How about that hot take? Long term.
Is Seth Luttrell coming back as offensive coordinator when Ben Arbuckle gets a head coaching job?
I would hope not. But
so much of that take for me would rely on, does Brent try to go forward as the defensive coordinator? I don't like that idea. I just don't. I get why he's doing it this year. I get it. That's just kind of the way it played. That's fine.
But guys, here's the thing to me Brent. He's done a good job of building a program, building a culture. We know he can recruit if things just aren't shit.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be ultimately be up to Brent and this athletic department or the front office for the football program. Once the ball gets rolling down the hill, you got to go with it.
And I look,
you can't capitalize on a good season this year. You're never going to.
And if you're talking about handing the reins over to Bo Bentley, and Ben Arbuckle is still here, I don't know. Maybe you still go after another transfer quarterback in the portal that's got 1 year, and I don't know how Bo Bentley reacts to that or anything, but he's going to know if he's ready, going into what I assume is a redshirt freshman year. I don't know. I don't see how having a good year for Brent Venables is bad for the long term of the program. I just think that's coming from people.
Conversation.
I just think that's coming from people who are out on Brent Venables, want him gone, have given up, and feel like it's been a train wreck, which I don't think it's been. Of all the things you can say about this program, Seth Luttrell was a train wreck. I don't think Brent Venables has been a train wreck. Now,
I don't know.
I just don't. I don't believe that he's been a complete train wreck. It hasn't gone well, but
at the end of the day, they've gone 6 and 7. Two of the last 3 years.
He's also not been a fender bender. He's gotten he opened the side door and it got ripped off the car.
There's little things with my old cars that there was always something. There was always a little dent.
Oh God,
somewhere.
Eddie's car history.
It's the Tommy Boy scene where he's backed up and the door gets flung by the gas tank, little concrete block. Yeah.
After the
door is definitely
Hyundai,
jacked.
I just
It's not
learned
like
not
you
to
want.
ask any questions about where that dent came from in Eddie's cars.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle.
Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue, subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
It is interesting, though, like looking back at last year, and George and I were joking about this in the office yesterday, coming back from Brent Venables' press conference. It's insane when you look at the injuries and everything that went into whatever that was, like the entire product. It's a little bit unlucky. Certainly in some cases you question on if they could have come back. I think that when you're just not having a good season, it doesn't really incentivize a lot of people to work their ass off to get back. But it's just like everything that could happen last year offensively specifically happened. And if you're just able to hold on to the ball in Columbia, if they go 7-5, I think everybody, maybe outside of the people that have already decided that they're out on Brent, the narrative around this season and the magnitude and everything that goes into this 2025 year, it'd be a little bit different. Like I truly believe that.
I also think they don't beat Alabama though, if they beat Missouri.
Oh, that's a hot take.
I
like
think they
that.
would have lost to Alabama. I don't know. I think that I don't know. That's where I'm at. Like this is they need to win. For me to believe in this thing going forward, I think they need to win probably at least 8, and even then I think the offseason would be like, are we truly bought into this?
So with that said,
I think
they have to make the college football
but
playoff for this to be a success.
You're acting like all 8-win seasons look the same. I mean,
I know context matters.
If it's an 8-win season and they lost against every good team, that they played, and they lost poorly, or maybe they lost to teams they shouldn't have. Like, we don't know what that 8 wins.
I can tell you this: you
like.
certainly can't. If you win 8 games and you still get your ass beat by Texas, that's not a good season.
If they start out 5-0 and only win 3 more games the rest of the way, it's not going to go over well.
No,
correct.
That's correct. That's very correct.
It's not, but I mean, how much of that is reality and how much of that perception? Like, the last 7 games are immensely harder than the first 5. Like, there's no.
That's fair.
There's no way to argue that otherwise.
I mean, we're going to know in 35 days the direction of this program.
And
where this year is headed.
I will, and I will say this is they have done everything they can to give themselves a really good shot to turn this thing around this year. Like,
feels like it.
The job they've done retaining their best players, going out and getting arguably the best quarterback and running back that entered the portal.
Yeah.
Like keeping, again, the guy going out and getting somebody like a Ben Arbuckle.
Landing a Fasusi.
Yeah, you didn't lose any of your defensive staff other than Zach Allen. You replaced him with, 2 coaches that I think, Brent really trusts and are good coaches. Like, they've done damn near everything possible to make sure that whatever happened last year doesn't happen again. We just don't know if it's enough. And I think that you said they were so unlucky with the injuries. They were also so unlucky with the schedule, because I think if they had, Texas's schedule or a different schedule and you just swapped maybe 1 or 2 opponents for different opponents in the SEC, you'd feel a hell of a lot better about this season.
Yeah, but also, I mean, I can't ignore the fact that they had Missouri. They had Tennessee. Yeah. I mean, if they just had a better offense, those are 2 more wins right there. Yeah. And then you're at 8 wins. I mean,
Missouri for sure. I
think Tennessee proved out that Nico, and that second half was not Josh Heupel shutting it down. It was just they didn't trust Nico.
I agree with that.
And that kept repeating throughout their season, because they, it just wasn't a great offense that everybody thought it was going to be. And they were in position to win that game.
I love that we don't hear that narrative anymore.
Which narrative is that?
I love that we don't have to hear that Josh Heupel shut it down in the second half. Like, that's not what happened. Like, it never was, and I never understood.
God love him. That was a lot of Tennessee fans, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, a big part of it was
just insanity.
But no, I mean, if you go
I had
through
someone ask me.
Go ahead, Josh.
This kind of goes with what you're talking about, Kerry. Let's say Oklahoma is just functional offensively last year. Not great, not special. Could they have beat South Carolina?
That's one of the all-time.
They gave them so much.
Yeah, I mean the game was over 15 minutes into the game. They spotted them 21 points. What was the final score of that game?
35-9.
Yeah, it's just hard to say like
5 the rest of the way.
What happens the last truly, I guess, the most part of the game if you don't dig yourself a 21-0 hole.
Sure. And again, if you want to tell me South Carolina shut it down, okay, yeah, I'll buy that. Like, because they didn't have any reason to. They knew that game was over as soon as they went up 21-0. Like, that game was dead.
Yeah, 35-9 was the final.
I think every time that I'm reminded of, like a bunch of the positivity that comes with going into this season, and, every time that I try to like really talk myself into thinking, you know what, I think Brent's got this. If he can just get some things to go his way, I'm reminded of like the Armed Forces Bowl. And I know that like you can't really, it's not apples to apples in terms of like comparison to a regular season loss and a postseason loss, but it was just such an embarrassing loss that I'm reminded of something like that. And it makes me think twice, but that's not to say that they can't get this thing moving in the right direction.
Hey, it was a big enough loss that people still asking about it at SEC Media Days. So, that's...
Well, they were trying to get him to adopt what Navy's doing offensively.
I mean, let's face it. When your offense is that
it's
big
tough.
of a bag
it's
of
tough.
shit, you're going uphill all the time.
How about this? Just from a defensive perspective, though, I do think that everybody, and we always talk about the Missouri game and the way that they lost that game with the fumble and Jackson kind of coughing it up, not even kind of coughing the ball up at the end. I do think that like one of the next steps for this defense, though, is when they are in position to win games, they kind of have to go do it. And, you give up those long passes in the Missouri game that, basically got Missouri down the field. Like, I do remember that. I do have a little bit of scar tissue there when you're talking about OU defensively.
Yeah, I just, and I do think that if anybody overhypes one aspect of this team, I think it's a little bit of the defense, like just trusting it's going to be as good as it's been. I don't know that for a fact. I mean,
I feel really good about this defense, and it definitely starts with what everybody's saying about the guys up front. And if they can get somebody opposite of our Mason Thomas, like we haven't even mentioned, I mean, we're halfway through this, like, or almost an hour in, like Josh, the Taylor Wine stuff, like I know that like if you're going to put Mateer and Ott into a separate category for hype, Taylor Wine might be number one on the top of the list of returning players going into this season.
Guys, and what's funny to me about this is it blends into the conversation that everybody's having about Jim Nagy and evaluations and that kind of stuff. Taylor Wine was a big guy who could run, and that's what you saw on tape in high school. Like, he's the kind of guy Nagy would bet on, like that physical traits that he brought to the table. So to see him now, like a couple years in, you're like, okay, that light seems to be coming on for him. What's funny to me, though, is do you guys almost get like the impression like people are disappointed? Like they want it to be about PJ. They want to hear that PJ is coming on and like not Taylor Wine. And I'm like, guys, he's really talented. Like he's a better player than you think he is. And there is, Eddie, there's a lot of buzzers. It's been there since the summer that you were hearing like, oh, this guy's really, really coming along. And I think back to what you guys kept telling me in the spring, like Miguel just wearing him out every chance, and really on him. And to me, that's always when a coach is like, we got something here. Like we if we can push this guy where he needs to go, we might have somebody.
Yeah, and to me, that's another thing just about this defense is they've rarely been in positions where they can just pin their ears back. Like OU hasn't played from, out in front, and they haven't made other teams, be in a position where they have to pass the ball to catch back up. And
when they have, they've had a lot of success.
Yeah, our Mason Thomas, I think we talked about that the other day. I mean, just his numbers in those situations, how many snaps he had versus how many sacks or how many quarterback hurries. Like, if you look that stuff up, it's incredible. And if he gets somebody on the other side, it just gets even better. And then you have Grayson Halton in the middle.
And that's
And
guys.
Dominic
It's
Williams
not just
and
that.
Stone and Jake Jackson.
Yeah. You've got Brent Venables dialing up blitzes, which we all know like he is one of the best in the game at, of just creating unique and exotic stuff that, like, Bryce Underwood, he does not want to be down 10 points in the second half in Norman. Like,
No, that could
he's going to see
snowball
shit
really
he's never
fast.
seen
Yeah.
before. Yeah, 100%.
So we're calling for
Natty
Michigan
champs?
blowout.
Oh, I was saying national champs.
After Zoomies at the dog park, it's time for Drive Up at Target. In goes a big bag of kibble and one squeaky chicken toy for the good boy. Drive Up that's ready when you are, only in the Target app. Just tap Target.
I have no idea what to think of Michigan.
This is not the Doom Pod that people felt like they were promised, I don't think. Look, I mean,
I'm ready.
Here's
Whenever
your
we wanna
here's your
go.
Doom
I
Pod.
have
Here's your Doom Pod.
The Doom Pods, they go 5-7. Brent gets fired. Like, that's the. I don't.
Well, the
know
Doom
what
Pod.
else.
No, the Doom Pod is John Mateer gets hurt in the first game. I mean, and then he's out for the
Jesus
season.
Christ.
That's the Doom Pod.
That's not Doom Pod. That's just straight up jinx. What are you doing?
I think I proved for the Thunder that I'm not a jinxer.
No, you proved that you were.
No,
they
no,
lost that
no.
game.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Apologize.
I'm sorry.
Take it back.
I take it back. John Mateer will throw for 700 yards and break the debut record at Oklahoma. I don't even know what. I think Sam has it still, or did Kyler
Most yards in a
break it?
debut?
Yeah,
I don't remember. Sam didn't
against
have a big
Tennessee,
day.
Chattanooga, maybe, or was it? They played Miami that.
Miami was like the second game, I think.
Yeah, that was the second game.
I think it's
yeah.
Chattanooga
hottest game
and
I've
then
ever been to.
Miami. Yeah, that was
Didn't
hot.
Rattler have a big? Or is it starting debut? Is that what you're?
Yeah, his OU debut.
Because didn't he have a big day against like Missouri State or something?
Possibly.
They scored like 70 points. I can't remember.
By the way, I am offended being called the biggest jinx at this table by the biggest jinx.
I've accepted my role. So I didn't bring up any injuries. I didn't want to bring them up.
Okay, so
according to Google AI, it is still Sam Bradford for 363 against North Texas.
Take that.
Ooh, North Texas.
DeMarco had 5 touchdowns in his debut.
Jesus.
NCAA record. Did not realize that. In the same game. That's crazy.
What's the score of that game?
It was a lot. I know that.
Good God. Were they 5 rushing touchdowns for DeMarco?
That's what it says.
Here, I'm in the.
It just says 5 touchdowns.
Wow.
Let's go back.
Most
to,
rushing touchdowns in a debut with 5, yes.
Okay. Wow. Sorry, North Texas. I think that got out of hand.
If Oklahoma
79-10, Gary.
Oh, it was North Texas, and then they played Miami. 79-10. Yeah.
79-10. It was
79-10.
It was 49-0 at halftime.
If
63-3 at the end of the third.
If Oklahoma wins, let's say 9 or 10 games, makes a playoff, they have a really good offensive season. What are the odds that Ben Arbuckle's here next year?
I'd say less than 50%. I mean, there are not a ton of just big name coordinators. I mean, think back to the search for OU. I mean, the guy at Georgia Tech that just got his new deal. I always forget his name.
Buster Faulkner.
Faulkner, yeah.
But I guess
but like, I mean, it wasn't like a who's who. I mean, the guy at Miami's name came up. I mean,
we're getting way ahead of ourselves on this. But I was just thinking,
it's a podcast.
I would assume he would wait to leave for like a Power 4 head coaching job.
You just never know.
Yeah.
I mean, what's out there with?
I mean, we never thought Lebby was going to leave.
Sure.
You know,
you just never know. I mean, that's so hard to project.
After the Bryles thing,
that's true.
That felt like that was coming.
Oh, after he came over to the game.
On the field.
On the field.
That just vibe was weird from the rest of that year. Like, just, I don't know. But, like, guys, my question is, and I think it's really interesting because I was writing this story that I've been doing this, the position stuff where you kind of look to 2026, like what's that look like at this point in time? And I was looking at quarterback, and I'm trying to figure out the scenario where is there any scenario where OU doesn't lose a quarterback from its top 2 next year? I can't think of one. Because like either John Mateer has an incredible year and he goes on, or he has a decent year and he comes back, and I can't imagine a world where Michael Hawkins returns in that scenario. Like it feels like you're going to see some turnover at some point in that way.
By the way, I just looked up the stats.
I agree,
2007 game, Sam Bradford was 21 of 23.
I was looking at it. Look at what the quarterbacks were as a team. They were 25 for 28 for 403 yards and just 3 touchdowns.
28 of 25. Sam Bradford and Joey Halsley had 3 incompletions between them. And Keith Nickel threw a pass in that game.
Hell yeah, 5 yards.
By the way, Joaquin Iglesias averaged 41 yards per rush. Moses Madu averaged 9.7.
2 100-yard receivers. Wick went for 7 for 128.
Oh, God.
Malcolm Kelly had 4 for 118. Jermaine had 3 for 64.
And a long of 42.
Joe John Finley, 1 reception, 11 yards in the game. Even Carter Whitson had a reception in that game. Shout out Carter Whitson, head coach over at Edmond North.
Mike Knoll was your punter.
I watched
back
that
then.
Miami game. It popped up on my YouTube not long ago. Holy shit, was that team talented. They just had dudes everywhere. Offense, defense, like it was just bodies rolling out. Like you're like, oh yeah, there's a young Joaquin Iglesias. Like
Garrett Hartley
crazy
kicked off
how many guys.
12 times in that game.
That's crazy.
12 kickoffs for Garrett Hartley.
Garrett Hartley, a long time NFL
Super Bowl,
kicker.
a
Like,
Super
they
Bowl
just had
champion,
guys
Super Bowl
everywhere.
champion Garrett Hartley.
Yeah.
Here's a name that I legitimately would have never remembered that even played at Oklahoma. No disrespect. Derek Gove had 3 carries for 5 yards. I literally don't think I've ever heard of him. Don't remember him.
Derek Gove.
Dove?
Gove.
G-O-V-E.
Oh, no. That
Yeah.
Nope. That rings no
Does
bells.
not ring
anywhere.
any bells. Now it's making me wonder if I'm really that old.
Derek Gove. Yeah.
Pretty damn good start to that year. They won 79-10, 51-13, 54-3, 62-21.
John Mateer, if you're listening, 363 is what you got to beat.
I think he might do that.
I looked it
He
up.
could.
Jalen Hurts owns the total yardage record with like 508. He rushed for like 163 or something and threw for 340 or something.
332 through the air,
Was that
176. Houston, it was on a Sunday night, remember? 59-31 was the final score of that game. You know who led Oklahoma in receiving that night?
CeeDee Lamb?
Nope.
Was it Hollywood? No.
Nope. Blast from the past.
Hollywood wasn't
Rambo?
playing.
Charleston Rambo,
Yes.
3 receptions, 105 yards. Now, 56 came on 1 play. So he had basically 2 receptions for, 50-something outside of that. CD just had 2 for 46.
The thing I remember from that game is Orlovsky, after the game, just like, Lincoln Riley's incredible. Look at what he's drawn up. He's rebuilt this entire offense. Like, he spent like a 10-minute ESPN segment like on college football. I bet 6 of it was just like loving up Lincoln Riley and how he had changed everything from the Mayfield and Murray eras.
Well, he was battling Joe Klatt. They were both slobbering on Lincoln all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Lincoln had a great offense. He did a great job.
Yeah.
He's
But
a
God,
weird
31
human
to
being,
what was
but he's a
undoubtedly
great
a
offensive
bad
coordinator.
Houston team.
All right. Well, we're headed out tomorrow. By the way, if you don't know, if you're podcast diehard, audio podcast diehard, the football report, the practice report, the recruiting report, they're all separately on all your podcast platforms to go along with the U40 and the Eskridge Lexus post-game podcast. Also, the game day preview will be up. It's already up. You can find it, but we're going to update it when we get into game weeks, and more to come. So go subscribe, and I tell people this all the time, like the YouTube channel go subscribe and turn on notifications because you find it right now. We don't have a schedule. We're just doing shit constantly. Like we're going to have another practice. We had a practice report yesterday. We're going to have another one today. We'll have another one after the viewing tomorrow. So shit's just coming fast and furious. So subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to watch the reports and turn on your notifications. If you're an audio guy, if you're on iTunes, subscribe to the podcast. If you're on Spotify, follow the podcast. Like that lets you know when the latest episodes drop because it's going to be, like I said, all over the place. And as camp goes on, as we have viewings, we're just going to be doing shit all the time. So do that, and that way you know that new stuff is out there. And most importantly, the way that you support us the most is signing up for Soonerscoop.com. It's just $1 to sign up. And we've got another promo getting ready to launch. I'm going to tell you about it on our socials. Follow us on social. Everything Sooner Scoop. Twitter, X, I should say. Instagram, Sooner Scoop. YouTube, Sooner Scoop. Facebook, Sooner Scoop. Just all of those /Sooner Scoop, and it'll take you to all of our stuff. So, guys, any other last remarks before we get out of here? George, welcome back to the real world.
Thank you. I enjoyed my trip to Maine.
Best summer of George ever?
Best summer of George ever. It was pretty fantastic. So it was a great trip out there. I highly recommend, like, if you have the opportunity to go up to the Northeast like that. It
looked beautiful.
It was gorgeous. And especially in the summer, like we hit it the perfect time. I mean, it was 65 to 72 degrees every day. The food was expensive, but fantastic. And it was a lot of fun. We had a good time.
Are you ruined on lobster rolls outside of the state of Maine?
Well, yeah. I don't know if I'll be eating lobster rolls in Oklahoma, but if I ever go up there again or like Boston, that area, definitely we'll eat some lobster rolls. They were fantastic. The best one I had was at the Clam Shack in Kennebunkport.
See any presidents while you're there?
No, but I did see the Bush's estate or old estate. I don't know if they still go out there. And Clinton, I don't think he has a place out there, but he's been out there. And there's someone else.
Is Kennebunkport like an official presidential vacation?
I don't think so. I think the Bushes, I was reading about it. I think the Bushes just kind of started going there.
Didn't the Kennedys go up there quite a bit?
Maybe. I don't know.
You're kind of lucky that you were that close to the Clintons that didn't. Glad you made it back, man. Glad you made it back.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Unofficial 40 podcast. We'll be back next week with another edition right here on Soonerscoop.com podcasts.